So today, like we just talked about, we're going to add a GCF, and the GCF is going to be the first thing we look for. Teacher, we used to teach with Mrs. Paxton. She used to always say, try one parenthesis before you go to two. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to move on from this. You guys okay with that? Actually, I want you to do the first one. Do number one. Do number one. Do number one. It's on your paper. Take the GCF out. Take the GCF out. Looking for the GCF, we're going to divide by it. All right, is the GCF 5? Yes and no, right? Yes and no? It's 5, but also what else? X. Right, they all have an X. So they all share 5, but they all also share X. So what's that going to be? 5x squared minus 9x plus 10. Okay, I would mark that wrong, though. Why would I mark that wrong? I don't have the GCF written out front, right? When I'm factoring, I'm writing this as the multiplication product of the things that multiplied to make that bigger number. I need that 5x to make what's above. Okay, so a little GCF reminder. So when we factor, we're going to follow a flow chart. Okay, and the flow chart's going to be the first thing we're going to look for is a GCF. Then we're going to look for the number of terms. Is it a trinomial? If it's a trinomial, we're going to smile. Okay, so number of terms is this next one. There's 3. The other choice is going to be 2. And we're going to learn that next time. Okay, we're going to learn that next time, not today. So we're always going to look for a GCF. Our first rule of factoring is always going to be look for a GCF. So when we factor completely, what we're looking for is we want to make sure we've totally taken the GCF out, and then we've tried to smile it if we can. Now, not everything smiles, correct? I don't know if we had any in our homework last night, but if I have something like this, x squared plus 7x plus 1, what are things that multiply to make 1? 1 and 1. What are things that multiply to make 1? 1 and 1. Signs same or different? So either positive, positive, or negative, negative, correct? X, X, 1, 1. I'm going to go positive because everything's positive. Yes? Well, that's going to give me 2 and 2. Oh, someone can't multiply. That's going to give me 1 and 1, which makes... Is that what I wanted? Can I use something different or switch that around to get a different result? No. So that's called prime. A prime number is a number that only 1 in itself make it. 3 is prime, right? Are there any other numbers besides 1 and 3 that make it? 3? Anything that besides 1 and 3 that make 3? No, so nothing else besides 1 and that make it. So that's called prime. Okay, I just went past 1, didn't I? Okay, here we go. Let's factor. So what's the first thing I'm going to look for? I'm going to look for a GCF. Do I have one? Yeah. Elena, what is it? 2. So I put a 2 out front. So first I'm trying just to go one parenthesis. I got one parenthesis, right? I'm not going to 2 yet. I'm trying 1. There's something I can take out to make it just be 1. Now, can I factor that further? Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. So we're going to go 2, x and x. Yes? We're going to look for things that make 24. I want negative 24. Ella, negative 24, are those same or opposite signs? Good. To get negative, I got to have opposite signs. So 124. Some of you may not have to write the 2 combinations out. You just know they need to be opposite signs and just list 2 and 12. Does that make sense? What else? 3 and 8. And 6 and 4. Okay, figure out which one works. This does factor. You get it? Nope, she's scratching.
I was fixing my leg.
Oh, fixing her leg. Looks like they've got it. Pencils down. Got it? I don't have a number. I just have x and x, correct? I'm trying to make 5. I'm multiplying by 1 and 1. Are 1 and 24 going to make 5? 2 and 12. 8 and 3. Right? I'm not, they're going to be 8 and 3 because I'm not multiplying by 1. Did I get the right number? Well, yes, but wrong sign, right? So what do I do? Flip them. But, you know, sometimes I'm looking like, okay, how far apart are my numbers? So now that worked. Don't forget that too, because what am I going to do if you forget that too? I'm going to mark it wrong. Okay, let's move to 8. That's what I want. 8. What's different about 8? What's different about 8?
I have a question.
Sure.
So for the last one,
Yeah.
I had x plus 3 and then x minus 8, but I got the same thing.
Okay, so great question, Maddie. So you had this.
Yeah.
Right? Is that okay? Yeah, because it's multiplication, right? So order doesn't matter. So the order of the parentheses doesn't matter because in multiplication, what's 3 times 2?
6.
What's 2 times 3?
6.
So does order matter? So either one of these is fine. Okay, good question. 8. All right, what's different about 8? The leading coefficient, that first number is negative, correct? I don't like that to be negative. Could I factor it with it negative? Yes, but it screws up my other rules. So yes, down with negatives. So I'm going to take a GCF out of 2, but also I'm going to take out a negative. I think we talked about this with GCF, didn't we? So my GCF is going to be negative 2. So I'm going to divide by negative 2. I don't want that leading coefficient to be negative. So now I've got one parenthesis, and all my signs changed, yes? So now, what multiplies to make 2? 1 and 2. I need negative 15. Do I want opposite or same signs? Opposite. Negative 3 and 5, and the opposite of that, correct? Negative 1 and 15. I'm not going to write them all out. Okay, 2x, 1x. What do you want to try? You want to try 5 and 3 or 15 and 1? What do you guys want to try? 5 and 3? Where do you want to put the 5? I feel like you're erasing. That's negative 3, positive 10. Is that going to work? Nope, it's not even the wrong number. It's not even the right number, wrong sign. So I'm good. What am I going to do with 3 and 5? I'm going to switch them. So 5, 3. Who do you want me to give the negative to? Those of you who've already got it right. Give the 5 the negative or the 3 the negative? So that's negative 5, positive 6, positive 1. So it just changes all the signs. All right, I want to do 2 more, and then I want you guys to have time to practice, because you sitting watching me isn't the same as you just trying to figure it out. All right, let's look at 11. Everything else is the same, though? Okay. What am I going to look for first? GCF. What's the number, everybody?
2.
Do I need to take a negative? No. Do they share a letter? Yeah, what do they share? They share X. So now all those x's drop by 1, correct? Okay, play and see if you can get it. Did you get it? You didn't get it, did you? So what does that mean? That means I can't go anymore. Right? The whole thing's not prime, just what's inside that parentheses prime, because the original problem's not prime because I was able to take out a 2x, correct? But what was left was, so I'm done. And that's okay. Once you exhausted everything, you're done. It doesn't go any further. Okay, let's do 12. All right, we need a GCF. I hear 3. They all have an X, they all have a Y, so I can have more than one thing. Do I need same or opposite signs? Same. So either both positive or Both negative. I think that's where some of you forget. They can both be negative. That's okay. Oops, that's not. I keep putting the 2x twice. I didn't want to put that twice. Check your middles. Well, you don't have a 2. You gotta get 2. You have 1 and 1. 1 times 1.
Oh yeah.
Does that work? 6 and 1 make 5. Does that work? No, because what am I doing with these two numbers? I'm adding, correct? That didn't work. Because I'm adding to get there. Okay, now am I adding to get to 5 now? Does that work?
No.
Why not?
Because you have to make 2 for take with the negative.
Very good, because I need what kind of 5 in the middle?
Negative.
I need a negative 5. Good, so I'm going to change both of those. Right number, wrong sign. Change them. All right, let's do some practice.